All right, ready to dive deep.
Let's do it.
Today, we're all about Atomic Habits by James Clear,
You know that book everyone's talking about?
the one that promises to, like, revamp your life.
Yeah, but like one tiny step at a time.
Exactly. We're going way beyond those, like, surface-level summaries you see everywhere
Oh, yeah, we're digging deep.
to find the real nuggets of wisdom,
Yeah,
the stuff that can actually,
make a real difference.
in your everyday life.
Exactly. We're not just skimming the feel-good stuff.
Right, we're getting into the nitty-gritty.
Science of habits.
Like, how do they even form in the first place?
And how do they like hijack our brains?
And then the big question, how do we use that knowledge to actually, like,
To our advantage.
totally. It's like we're becoming, I don't know,
Habit hackers.
yeah, or like neuroscientists of our own habits.
I like that.
Speaking of which, James Clear himself,
Oh, he's a fascinating guy.
he's like a walking case study for this stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, think about it. He was this college athlete,
Right. Doing his thing.
and then, bam, serious injury.
A fractured skull.
Yeah, fractured skull. Like, that could have sidelined him for good.
You'd think so, right?
But instead, he used these principles, these atomic habits,
To rebuild his entire life.
not just like physically, but mentally.
Professionally.
The whole package
Yeah, it's a powerful example.
of how these tiny changes, they can compound
Over time.
and lead to these crazy results.
It's amazing.
Okay, so we're talking about that classic idea, right? Small hinges swing big doors.
Exactly.
But what's the science behind it? We've all heard about the power of, tiny gains.
Yeah, but how do they actually work?
How do those tiny tweaks actually create these massive shifts?
Well, Clear talks a lot about lagging measures.
Lagging measures, okay.
Think about trying to lose weight.
Okay, yeah.
That number on the scale, that's a lagging measure.
It's not like an instant thing.
No, it reflects like weeks of your habits.
Your eating habits, your exercise habits.
All of it.
Whoa, so it's not just like what you did today.
Nope.
It's the culmination of everything.
Exactly.
So it's like the results we see.
They're always trailing behind.
Yeah, it takes time for them to catch up.
Exactly.
Mm.
And that's where atomic habits come in.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
By making those small positive changes every single day.
So like swapping soda for water
Taking the stairs.
instead of the elevator
You're setting the stage.
for those lagging measures to change.
For the better.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
Good.
But let's zoom in on how habits actually form.
Okay, let's do it.
I think most of us know the basics, right? Cue, craving, response, reward.
The 4 stages.
Right. But what are some of the, like, nuances?
The things we don't always think about.
What should we be aware of?
Well, the cookie example is a good start.
Right. Everyone loves cookies.
But let's get a little more complex.
Okay, hit me.
Think about a habit you're trying to break.
Ooh, getting personal.
Like checking your phone constantly.
Ugh. Guilty is charged?
The cue might be a notification.
Right, that little buzz.
The craving is that urge to see what's new.
Oh, yeah, FOMO.
The response is picking up the phone and scrolling.
And the reward is that, like, dopamine hit.
From those likes and comments.
So it's like our brains are wired to seek out those little dopamine rewards.
Totally.
And these habits are hijacking that.
Exactly.
No wonder it's so hard to break free.
It's tough. And what's interesting,
Tell me more.
dopamine isn't just released when we get the reward.
Oh.
It's also released in anticipation.
Whoa, so just seeing my phone light up,
Even if you know you should be working.
that triggers the craving.
Exactly.
Okay, so awareness is key here.
Absolutely.
We have to understand the cues, the craving.
Before we can even begin to change.
But how do we shine a light on these habits that are so, like,
Ingrained.
yeah, like, we're practically on autopilot?
Clear has a great tool for this.
Okay, tell me.
It's called the Habits Scorecard.
Habit scorecard, I like it.
It's really simple. You just list out all your daily habits.
Okay, so like inventory of my day.
Exactly. And categorize them. Good, bad, or neutral.
So I'm becoming a detective of my own behavior.
Precisely.
I bet a lot of those unconscious habits
The one you don't even realize.
would start to surface.
Absolutely. And once they're out in the open,
Then we can start to,
strategize.
figure out how to change them.
Exactly.
This is where it gets really interesting.
I know, right?
It's not just about willpower.
It's bigger than that.
It's about understanding how our environment.
Shapes us.
Yeah. And then making changes to support our goals.
You got it.
Okay, so we're talking about optimizing our surroundings.
Totally.
But how does this play out in real life?
Good question.
Can you give me a concrete example?
Okay, so picture this. You're in your kitchen.
All right, in there?
You open the fridge,
Yep, I'm doing it.
and the first thing you see
Oh, no. Is it?
It's that tempting dessert.
The one I'm trying to avoid.
The one that's calling your name.
Yeah, that's how it usually goes.
You're way more likely to grab it if it's right there.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. But what if
What if? What if?
you rearranged things
Okay, I like where this is going.
so that healthy snacks are the first thing you see?
Ah, so I'm like tricking myself.
You're subtly nudging yourself towards a better choice.
I can get behind that. But what about when,
When the willpower crumbles.
exactly, I've got the fruit bowl, right, where I can see it,
Perfect setup.
but then my willpower just
Disappears.
poof. And I'm reaching for the cookie jar.
Oh, I know that feeling.
It's like a losing battle sometimes.
Well, that's where we need to talk about motivation and cravings.
Okay, yeah, those are important.
Remember that dopamine rush?
One we were just talking about?
Yep, the one that comes from anticipating a reward.
Oh, yeah, like when my phone buzzes.
The food industry, they've gotten good at using that.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah, they've become experts.
So it's not just me versus my willpower.
Not quite.
It's me versus
Carefully engineered products.
products designed to make me crave them.
Pretty much.
That feels unfair.
I know, right? But here's the thing.
What's that?
Understanding how it works.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's the first step to taking back control.
Right. Knowledge is power.
And it's not just about avoiding bad habits.
There's more.
We also need to make good habits.
More appealing.
Exactly.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we make healthy choices,
The ones that are good for us.
Yeah, how do we make those more enticing?
One strategy Clear talks about is habit stacking.
Habit stacking. Okay, I'm listening.
It's all about linking a new habit you want to build
Okay, I want to build good habits, for sure.
with an existing habit you already do regularly.
Ooh, I like that. So I'm using something I already do,
As a trigger.
a trigger for the new habit.
Exactly. Give me an example.
Okay, let's say I want to meditate every day,
Great goal.
but I always seem to find an excuse not to.
We've all been there.
It's like my brain is allergic to meditation or something.
Think about something you do every single morning without fail.
Well, I brush my teeth.
Perfect. So instead of just brushing your teeth,
I do something else.
your new habit becomes, after I brush my teeth, I will meditate for 1 minute.
So brushing my teeth is the cue,
For the meditation.
like a chain reaction in my brain.
You got it. And here's the beauty of habit stacking.
There's more.
You can keep building on it.
So it's not just 1 minute forever.
Once that minute becomes easy, bump it up to 2.
Then 5, then 10, and so on.
You're building momentum slowly.
Without getting overwhelmed.
Exactly.
Hey, that makes a lot of sense for small habits.
Right.
But what about bigger goals?
Right.
Like I want to write a book,
That's a great goal.
but it feels huge, like impossible.
It can feel that way.
Like where do I even start?
Well, that's where the 2-minute rule comes in.
2-minute rule. Okay.
The idea is to break down any new habit
Into smaller pieces.
into the smallest possible action.
Something super tiny.
Something that takes less than 2 minutes to do.
So instead of writing the whole book,
Which feels overwhelming.
I could just focus on one sentence
You could even just open your laptop.
and stare at a blank page
Exactly. Make the first step so easy.
that I can't say no to it.
Exactly. And often, once you start,
To keep going.
that's the idea.
Inertia, right.
Exactly.
Okay, this is starting to feel doable.
Good.
But let's be real. Even with the best plans,
There will be days
days when I just don't feel like it.
when motivation dips.
And those old habits come back.
Temptation is real.
So how do we stay consistent? Especially when,
When it gets tough.
exactly.
Tracking is your friend here.
Tracking, okay,
Clear talks about keeping a visual record.
of my progress.
Exactly, like marking an X on a calendar.
Oh, I like that.
Every day you complete the habit.
I'm a very visual person.
Then this is for you.
That's like a tangible reminder.
Of your commitment.
And those little X's, they start to feel important.
You don't want to break the chain.
Exactly.
And there's also the psychological element.
Oh.
Each X reinforces the positive behavior. It's like self-congratulation.
Exactly. Like a little pat on the back.
Okay, so we've got internal motivators
Like dopamine.
and external ones like tracking.
Powerful combo.
But what about the social aspect?
Oh, that's huge.
Do other people influence our habits?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Clear calls it
But
accountability.
accountability. Okay.
Having someone check in on you.
Like a habit buddy.
Exactly. Someone to celebrate your wins.
And help you when you stumble.
Exactly. And there are more formal ways.
Hmm.
Habit contracts.
Habit contracts. Tell me more.
It's a written agreement
Oh.
outlining your desired habit
Okay, so I'm writing it down.
and the consequences if you don't follow through.
So there's like A penalty.
And even rewards for success.
Ooh, I like rewards.
It doesn't have to be anything crazy.
So it's not like a legal document.
No, it could be simple.
Just something between me and a friend.
Exactly. It's about creating commitment.
To myself and to someone else.
Exactly. It's like adding a layer of,
Social pressure. Yeah, to keep you on track.
that makes sense, especially for,
The procrastinators out there?
oh yeah, the self-sabotagers.
Guilty.
Me too, sometimes. But it's not just about,
Picking any old habit.
right. There are so many, like, productivity hacks.
And habit challenges.
Yeah, how do we know which ones to actually focus on?
Well, that's where the idea of,
Playing to our strengths comes in.
exactly. Clear uses the example of Michael Phelps.
Oh, the swimmer.
Yeah, the Olympian.
He was incredible.
He excelled because, his body,
His build.
it gave him this natural advantage in the pool.
Oh, like his long torso and big wingspan.
Exactly. Imagine if he tried to be, I don't know.
A runner.
Yeah. It probably wouldn't have worked out so well.
So it's about recognizing our own abilities.
And choosing habits that align with them.
It's like finding that sweet spot
If
where,
it feels effortless.
yeah, because it's something you're already kind of
Good at.
inclined to do.
Exactly. Cleary calls this the Goldilocks rule.
Goldilocks rule. Okay, I like it.
Finding tasks that are just the right.
Level of challenge.
Yeah, not too easy, not too hard.
Yes, right.
If it's too easy, you get bored.
Right.
Too hard, you get frustrated.
And give up.
But if it's just right,
You get into that flow state.
where time flies by.
You're totally in the zone.
Exactly.
So-
Okay, so we're choosing the right habits.
Stacking them, tracking our progress.
Holding ourselves accountable.
Sounds like a recipe for success.
It is, but let's be real, even with all this,
There's a chance we might hit a plateau.
it happens.
How do we keep things fresh?
So those good habits don't become...
Chores.
Exactly. That's a great question.
Because even if it's something I enjoy,
It can get repetitive.
yeah, and then it's easy to, lose motivation.
Clear emphasizes embracing the process,
Even when it's not, exciting.
even when it feels boring.
Okay, so it's not always about that, spark of passion.
Not necessarily.
It's more about discipline,
Showing up consistently.
even when you don't feel like it.
Exactly. And this is where habit shaping comes in.
Habit shaping. Okay, tell me more.
It's about taking that initial 2-minute action
Right, the tiny step.
and gradually increasing the difficulty.
Or the duration.
Yeah, over time.
So, with my meditation,
You start with 1 minute.
then 2, then 5.
It's a subtle way to improve.
Without getting overwhelmed.
Exactly. It's like sneaking in those improvements.
I'm liking this.
So, to recap, what have we learned?
Well, it's all about those small, consistent changes.
Making good habits obvious and easy.
Finding ways to make them rewarding.
And showing up even when it's tough.
Using those 4 laws of behavior change.
Make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying.
It's powerful stuff.
It is. And remember, success isn't about...
Those big overnight transformations.
It's the product of daily habits.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
I agree.
I'm feeling inspired to, revisit some of my own habits.
Put these principles into action.
Exactly. And I'll leave you with one final thought.
From James Clear himself.
Success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. What's one small habit you can start building today?
Think about it.
Until next time, keep diving deep.